clearly point to the grave shortcomings on behalf of the DPRK with a view to its...
We think of the testimony of a young man imprisoned from birth and living on rodents and lizards and grass to survive, witnessing the public execution of his mother and his brother.
Human rights representative has been denied access to the country in spite of repeated...
We think of the testimony of a young woman forcibly repatriated and imprisoned for leaving the DPRK, describing how she witnessed a female prisoner forced to drown her own baby in a bucket.
Other UN entities have laid bare, most notably
the individual testimonies emerging from the public hearings, of which these are just instances, do not represent isolated cases. They are representative of large-scale patterns that may constitute systematic and gross violations of human rights. We heard from ordinary people who faced torture and imprisonment for doing nothing more than watching foreign soap operas on DVDs, for holding a religious belief. Former officials of the DPRK, previously involved in the propaganda apparatus, related how they had systematically manipulated free access to information. Women and men who exercised their human right to leave the DPRK and were forcibly repatriated spoke about their experience of torture, sexual violence, inhumane treatment, and arbitrary detention.
2014 as an opportunity to engage in a true...
My delegation totally rejects the oral update by the so-called Commission of Inquiry on the human rights situation in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The oral update is another copy of faked materials on the situation of human rights in my country, fabricated and invented by the forces hostile to the DPRK, defectors and rebels. My delegation makes it clear once again that the human rights violations mentioned in the update do not exist in my country.
Japan strongly calls on the DPRK to take concrete action to improve its human rights situation, including the resolution of the abduction issue. As has been repeatedly conveyed to the Commission during its stay in Japan, Japan considers that it is possible to achieve a swift resolution to the abduction issue through negotiations, and that this would be beneficial to the DPRK itself. At the same time, it is vital that the international community continue to voice its concerns.
The DPRK is strongly urged to acknowledge that its human rights situation is a great concern for the international community, and to cooperate with the Commission and other human rights mechanisms, including the Special Rapporteur and the OHCHR.